People love superheroes. They swoop out of the sky and save the day. People love that cozy feeling that superheroes give them.
Wicked vines lit on the lead. The tears don't stop the fire. It's killing time.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my new breakdown for Amazon's The Boys Season 2 trailer they just dropped. It's a little bit different from the last trailer, so I'll focus mostly on what's going on with Homelander, his son, and some of the other stuff that the creator has talked about. They're also releasing a new prequel story for The Boys starting in April. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. The Boys is actually going to be premiering around the middle of the year, maybe a little bit earlier than it did last summer, so we won't have to wait too long before episodes come back. But obviously this footage mostly focuses on the relationship that Homelander is trying to develop with his son, be the father that he feels like he never had, like he has this idea of a perfect family in his head. Oh, I'm going to be the most amazing father ever, which you know means he's going to be the worst father ever. Teach him all the wrong things that you're not supposed to teach your children. And I have a big theory about where the show is taking this, because this is a big departure from the comics. There was a version of this that happens in a flashback, but it all went down very differently, and the baby doesn't wind up surviving because Butcher winds up killing it the minute it's born. So the TV show is going in a vastly different direction with this Superboy. I do kind of like what it seems like they're setting up, but a lot of it'll depend on the execution. So you see a lot of footage with him showing up to Butcher's wife's house, or ex-wife. Technically, they didn't get a divorce, but she was legally pronounced dead and she's been gone for so long, they're effectively divorced. The whole reason why Vogelbaum told Homelander that he hid the birth of his son from him is to give the boy a chance at a normal life, being raised in the suburbs with a normal mom the way that Homelander never was. Because Vogelbaum blames all the terrible things that Homelander does the way he is on the way that he, Vogelbaum, and the other scientist raised him in isolation. So like, we're not gonna do this anymore. I have too many regrets about this. So a lot of the Homelander footage makes it seem like tonally he'll be very different and acting very different during the season because of the idea of this son trying to be a father to him. I'm going to teach him all these wonderful things. There's a scene where he's descending down into the woods slowly with this weird look on his face. He has blood all over him. Either he just got done killing someone or there was some giant accident. I used to think this had something to do with a lesson that he may be trying to teach his son that just goes awry, but there's some footage of Butcher in woods that looks similar to this with a weapon, so it might just have something to do with the boys going after Homelander. Because a lot of the other footage of the boys during season 2 show the team trying to train, like Butcher's trying to get them ready for something even bigger. Like you see all this footage of them in the hospital, you see them working with the female even more. She's starting to acclimate to life in the group. There's actually a really cool parallel between the female character and Homelander's son, mostly in the miracle of their existence. Up to this point in history, there's been a couple of fundamental realities in Vought American creating superheroes. So if you ever wonder why all superheroes aren't as powerful as Homelander because Vought creates Compound V artificially, then they dose it to people and give them powers, the kinds of powers that you get are kind of random, but your relative strength level, how powerful you are, just depends on how much Compound V they give you. The reason why everyone isn't as powerful as Homelander is because it costs millions and millions of dollars even to make drops of Compound V, and Homelander was given massive, massive doses of it when he was a fetus in his mother's womb. It cost them billions of dollars to create Homelander, so it's not like they have a giant piggy bank sitting around where they can create 10, 15 more Homelanders. Queen Maeve is another good example of someone who was given massive doses of Compound V when she was a fetus, so that's why she's one of the most powerful female heroes, but she's not nearly as powerful as Homelander because she wasn't given nearly as much Compound V as Homelander. The reason why Homelander's son and the female are such a big deal is because the female was given doses when she was an adult, and typically when you give Compound V to adults, they'll just explode at the seams. There's a very small percentage of people that survive the treatments. So it's a miracle that she's alive, but she was given massive doses, so that's why she's so powerful too. Homelander's son is a miracle because people thought that Compound V rendered supers sterile and they couldn't have children the natural old-fashioned way. There's a big question about how powerful and how much of his abilities he passed on to his son, but you have to imagine that the Compound V mutated his genetic code so much that his son is almost as powerful as he is. He might not have all of his abilities, we don't know if he can fly, like they're standing on the roof together, so I'm assuming he's at least Connor Kent Superboy powerful compared to regular Superman levels of power. That's why long-term theory, I think that we're going to wind up seeing a situation where his son will be used against Homelander, because Homelander can be killed, it's just that you have to have someone who's more powerful than him. That's why bullets bounce off of him, he seems indestructible, but he's not. You just need someone that's more powerful than he is, and his son just seems like the next best candidate. And think about it this way, his son is now his greatest weakness Butcher will probably try to exploit, because last year during Season 1, Butcher said that Stillwell was Homelander's weakness, and he was trying to exploit Stillwell. Now that she's dead, and he found out about his son is now the greatest weapon that they could use against Homelander. The reason why you're seeing so many other brand new superheroes that they're fighting during the trailer is because Amazon gave the show way more money to spend. So it's actually a really good thing. The first couple of episodes are supposed to be crazy, according to what they were saying back at Comic-Con, because they had been filming for a while when they went to Comic-Con last year. Not really clear why Homelander's choking out Starlight in this elevator, but you have to remember that at this point in Season 2, she's officially working with the boys as a plant inside the Seven. They found out about her relationship with Huey, but she had only just started to find out what Huey was doing with the boys. She slowly got on board with that, so this is her just putting on the act, trying to pretend to be like one of the Seven. But a big arc for her in the comics is her slowly starting to embrace this lifestyle, so she actually does start to get a little bit more hardcore without realizing it. There are a couple things in this footage that they chose not to include that I'm hoping they include in the next trailer, and that's a look at what's going on with Stormfront in the series. It sounds like they've changed his backstory quite a bit from the comics because it's being played by this person. You probably remember her from You're the Worst. I think she's going to be an interesting twist on the character, but I don't know what they're going to say about her backstory when she was created. Because the really cool thing about the Stormfront character in the comics is that he was actually created by Nazis during World War II before Vogelbaum defected to the United States. They created Vought American and started creating American superheroes. It's kind of like a version of Operation Paperclip, but with superheroes. So after World War II, Vogelbaum and the other former German scientists used everything that they learned creating Stormfront to create Homelander at the cost of billions of dollars, like I said. There's a lot of promos for World War II ads and other heroes like Soldier Boy here, who is a character from the comics that they keep posting, that make me wonder how they're going to talk about the history of Vought American on the TV show, if it's going to be a little bit different. The trailer footage also kind of makes it seem like Giancarlo Esposito's character becomes much bigger during Season 2. Remember, last season we learned that he was basically Stillwell's boss, and he was behind their push to get supers in the military. The showrunner and Jeffrey Dean Morgan were also posting because they both used to work on the Supernatural TV series. If you remember, Jeffrey Dean Morgan played Sam and Dean's father. He's been playing Negan for the last couple of seasons on Walking Dead. He said he would love to join the Boys TV series, so it sounds like he's going to be playing a character during Season 3, but they didn't say which one. I know they're doing the Payback team from the comics because that's the team that Stormfront is actually part of. Like the Seven is their version of the Justice League, the A-List, or the Avengers. There are a bunch of other superhero teams. Payback is just one of those. Because they're doing Payback, I'm also hoping that they finally pay off the Tech Knight Easter eggs from Season 1, because we know he exists within the universe of the TV show and he's a big character in the comics. He's sort of a parody of Iron Man and Batman, but the story for his character is so twisted when they introduce him. So they reveal that they're going to include him during Season 2, or if he shows up during any future trailers, I'll talk more about that character. And because The Boys TV show has blown up so big and everyone loves it so much, the creator, Garth Ennis of the comic book, is writing a new prequel story called The Boys, Dear Becky. Becky was Butcher's wife. But everyone, let me know in the comments, what do you think is going to happen with Homelander and his son during Season 2? They imply that they're going to be doing a bunch more seasons, like Season 3 seems like it's already been confirmed, but I'm assuming that they're going to try and go at least 5 seasons. This week is also the Super Bowl, so I'm expecting a whole bunch of Super Bowl trailers. I'll try to do as many of those videos as possible, but leave all your requests in the comments below. Everyone click here for my brand new Marvel Eternals teaser breakdown, and click here for all my other Boys Season 2 trailer videos. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.